Oh yeah, is it Tuesday already? Skeleton Crew is the next Star Wars live-action show, and it comes out in less than 50 days. And we know almost nothing about this show, and we're going to talk about who could show up in this show and why I think it could be Luke Skywalker and possibly some other crazy characters like that. We also have some news to get to when it comes to Star Wars Rebels and the next animated Star Wars show coming hopefully in next year. We got a lot to dive into today on this fine Tuesday afternoon, so let's dive into all of it. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing on this fine Tuesday afternoon? What's up, chat? I know we didn't have a stream on Saturday. I'm aware. Okay? We had things going on. Okay? Saturday was a busy day, so we couldn't have a stream. We're back. Don't worry. We're back. And we'll be back for the next Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday for the rest of your life. Okay? Okay? First things first, let's say hi to everybody in the chat, shall we? Brandon Baker, what is up? Chris, how we doing? Starship 66 in the house. Officer Murdoch, how we doing? Navarro, what is up? Darth Raccoon in the house. Pam Hill, how we doing? Brady, what is up? Amanda, how we doing? Trent in the house. King Shadow, how we doing? Nathan, what is up? Thomas, how we doing? If I missed you, you know the deal. Just yell at me in the chat. But let's give everybody a nice little
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
Oh yeah. Okay, so Skeleton Crew. It's the next Star Wars show, but we really know very little about the show. We know that it's going to follow these 4 kid characters, teenage characters. They're going off on this crazy adventure in the galaxy. They're going to come across Jude Law's character, who's going to be this new type of Jedi. But we really don't know the plot. We know that pirates are going to be involved in some sort of way. Are they going to be the main villain? Possibly. Is there going to be some other big villain? We don't know. Is Thrawn going to be involved? Is Din Djarin and Grogu going to be involved? Is Hera Syndulla going to be... Like, we don't know anything about this show, and it's in 49 days. 49. I was hoping we were going to be getting a new trailer today, and I guess the day is still young, but so far, we haven't. So... I'm assuming we're going to be getting a Skeleton Crew trailer within the next couple weeks. I hope this week, but within the next couple weeks, because as we get closer to this show's release, we're going to get more and more and more marketing going on, and hopefully that means more and more and more stuff being revealed because we know so little about this show. People don't even know when I'm talking to them about Skeleton Crew. They're like, what the hell is Skeleton Crew? Is it a live action show or an animated one? Is it a movie or a show? Is it a comic series or a novel? Like, we don't even know what the show is, or even if it's a show or not. So I think the marketing for this show needs to ramp up, and it needs to ramp up quick because nobody knows about this show. Nobody. And the people that do don't really know what it's going to be about or anything like that. So we need a lot more information about this show so we can get hyped up. However, knowing so little about this show could mean that there are a lot of surprises coming our way. And when we talk about surprises in Star Wars, we talk about cameos, fan service, if you will. But there's a lot of characters in the Star Wars universe that could appear in this Skeleton Crew show that would make sense. I'm not just going to throw out crazy characters like just like the glub shittos for no reason. These are characters that would actually make sense to show up in this Skeleton Crew show for a many number of reasons. So we're going to dive into all of those. Tell me who you want to see show up in Skeleton Crew. But first things first, let's put up a poll in the chat. And if you haven't smashed a freaking like on the stream, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. Smash a freaking like on the stream. But let's put up a poll in the chat, shall we? Are you excited for Skeleton Crew? I'm very interested to see where this poll goes because sometimes with these new shows, everybody's really, really excited. I remember before The Acolyte, people were really hyped up because it was new Jedi, new Sith, new time period. Before Ahsoka, people were hyped up because you had the Rebels crew. You already knew who they were. Before Book of Boba Fett, you got Boba Fett coming in. People were hyped up for all these shows. With Skeleton Crew, it seems like the conversation's a little bit different, with fans going, what the hell is this show? We don't really know what it's going to be about. So tell me in the chat on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being, of course, I'm not excited at all, and 10 being, oh my God, I can't wait. I literally can't wait. Can I fall asleep now and wake up when Skeleton Crew comes out? That's 10. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you, or how hyped are you for the Skeleton Crew? Tell me in the chat. All right, let's just do this, okay? Shall we?
This is where the fun begins.
Exactly. This is truly where the fun begins. Okay. 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 7.5, 9. Interesting. Felix, what's up? New profile picture? Nice. I'm doing good. How are you? 6.5, 9. These are some high scores. Honestly, guys, I'm probably around a 7.5. I feel like there's so much. I could get so much more excited for this show. So much more. I need some big reveal to sort of happen that can get me from here to all the way up here. There's a long way to go for getting me extremely excited for this Acolyte show. Acolyte. Skeleton Crew! Jesus. Skeleton Crew show. And maybe another trailer. Maybe something. Something's got to get me there, okay? Oh, maybe this will get me there. Darth Plagueis lives with a very generous $5 holla. God damn. Says, so hyped for Skeleton Crew. Nice. Think we'll see Zeb. Ooh. Zeb Aurelius. Zeb. Okay. So there is a possibility that we could be seeing New Republic characters in this. Like Carson Tava, maybe Harrison Dula. Zeb Aurelius is an interesting one because we just saw him for the first time in live action in Mando Season 3. He was not in Ahsoka. We know for a fact he will be in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie as the trailer that was released at, San Diego Comic-Con? Or D23? D23, I think. D23, there was a trailer for the Mandalorian and Grogu, and Zeb was in that trailer. So if Zeb does show up in Skeleton Crew, that would be a pretty good through line there to the Mandalorian and Grogu movie as well. I appreciate the super chat. I really, really do. Super chats, memberships, keep the lights on over here, so I appreciate it. Christopher, what's up? Okay. All right, let's see. And I'm at an 8, but a trailer could tickle me to a 9. Okay. 6.5, 8.5, 6.9. Nice. 7. Nice. All right, let's watch this trailer, okay? This is the original trailer for Skeleton Crew. It almost has 5 million views on YouTube, which does sound like a lot, but for a Star Wars trailer, it's really not. This show's hype level, just in the normie fans of Star Wars, it's not that big. But with that being said, let's watch this trailer one time through, because there's a few things that are pretty interesting here that I want to talk about. So let's watch this, shall we? Okay, let's watch it. Oh, volume would be nice.
Tomorrow's test will set the course of your entire future.
Don't you ever want to do anything exciting? Like what?
Neil!
What if we could go anywhere we want in the whole galaxy? A real adventure. No more pretend. I found something buried in the woods.
I think it's a Jedi temple.
I think it's a lost Jedi temple. Hello? Be careful where you step.
is dangerous out here in space. Trust no one.
You're a Jedi.
Okay, streaming December 3rd. That's in 49 days. So, there's a lot going on in that trailer, but honestly, this is sort of the teaser trailer. It says official trailer, but it's sort of the teaser trailer for this show. This came out over 2 months ago. We're still waiting for that next trailer to get us more excited. I think this trailer that we just watched right now that came out over 2 months ago was sort of just to introduce us to these characters. Introduce us to the characters of the main four. Your boy Neil, of course, Wim, Fern, KN, all those guys. And then, of course, at the end, sort of allude to Jude Law's character, Jod Nawood. But that trailer itself wasn't, I mean, it got some people excited for the show, but it was more so to introduce the main characters. I think the next trailer that we could be receiving for this show will maybe get some more people excited for the show. As we know, pirates are going to play a huge role in this show. How? We don't know. Is Jude Law going to be a pirate Jedi? Possibly. But when you talk about pirates in Star Wars, you really think of one character, Chet. Who's that character? You really think of only one guy and one guy only. Who is it, Chet? Hondo Ohnaka. Exactly. So when you think of pirates in Star Wars, you think of Hondo. And honestly, I don't see a world where we get this entire Skeleton Crew show and this guy's not in it. I just don't. I don't see a world where Hondo is not in the Skeleton Crew show. Especially because it's so focused on the pirates. We've seen pirates in The Mandalorian, not yet Hondo. And it seems like it's a no-brainer to put Hondo Ohnaka into live action in that show. Now, this gets a lot of people excited. Yes, I see a lot of love for Hondo in the chat, but you only know Hondo if you've watched the Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels. So most normie fans are not really going to know who the hell this guy is. Now, they've dealt with that before in the past with Ahsoka and The Mandalorian, where you're introducing characters into live action like Bo-Katan or Harrison Dula, who have these vast pasts, try saying that 10 times fast, in animated Star Wars content. And introducing those characters into live action to the normie fans who didn't watch the animated shows is a challenge. It's a challenge they've done before, and it's a challenge they can succeed with a character like Hondo Ohnaka. But it seems like we're going to see a lot of familiar faces in this Skeleton Crew show because of its connections to pirates, because of its connection to characters like a Hondo Ohnaka, or somebody we'll get to in a second. But let's talk about Hondo first. I'm going to put up a poll in the chat. I want to see where you guys are at. Do you think Hondo Ohnaka, yes or no, will be in this Skeleton Crew show? Tell me in the chat. I'm actually not going to put up a poll because I want to keep that other poll up for a little bit. What do we think, chat? What do we think? Yes, no, maybe so. Why can't I scroll over there? What the heck? Why can't I do that? Why is it doing this? Oh, okay. That's good. That's better. Yeah. Brandon says, I think Skeleton Crew is definitely going to be the Goonies of Star Wars, but with a big plot twist. Well, don't just leave us hanging there, Brandon. What's the big plot twist? Fearless says, I'm pretty hyped up, but isn't as wild as I was for Ahsoka or The Mandalorian. I'm really waiting for Andor Season 2. My hype level for that is over 1 million. Yeah, I mean, Andor Season 2 is a second season. Same with Ahsoka. It's the second season. Now, getting more excited for Ahsoka and The Mandalorian makes sense. First of all, because The Mandalorian is their biggest show ever, but Ahsoka because all those characters are coming over from animated, from Rebels or from Clone Wars. So that there's obviously clear reason to be excited for those shows. With Skeleton Crew, it doesn't have that draw. even to more hardcore fans, there's not that draw of characters coming into live action. At least yet, as we talk about Hondo Naka. Yeah. At least not yet. Completely innocent and ethical businessman, Hondo Naka, exactly. Should be the greatest thing since Anakin destroyed the Death Star, LOL. Yeah. I want Hondo in the show. Oh, me too. Yeah. Me too. Maybe there will be some pirates from Resistance, as Skeleton Crew is for kids in the first in a way. They've been very clear about making sure that fans know that it's not just for kids. Skeleton Crew is not going to be a young Jedi adventure type show. It's not going to be a Star Wars Resistance type show. It's going to be a live action Mando, Ahsoka level show. It's not going to be more geared towards kids as anything else has been. It's going to be the same sort of feeling as The Mandalorian. Yeah. Yeah. I really hope that he's in trouble as usual. Yeah, I mean, Hondo, as we see him last in Rebels, is not really the leader of a pirate group or anything like that. So it's likely he's probably not now either, but he could be a friend of our main cast. Yeah. Have we ever seen a Wookiee pirate? No. I don't believe. I do not believe. If he's such a great character, then why do you want Disney to ruin him? Why do I want Disney to ruin him? Well, because Disney hasn't ruined him yet? I don't understand the question. Hondo's already been in Rebels quite some time. By the way, Rebels is celebrating its 10-year anniversary this year. 10 years, which is absolutely insane. I do have some Rebels news to get to later on, but yeah. Yeah. The plot twist could be if Jude Law is a false Jedi, and he might be using the Skeleton Crew. I don't think we should be trusting the character of Jude Law, or of Jod Na. He's a new type of Jedi, so to speak, but he's never really described as a good guy. I could see it. I could definitely see him not being the hero that we want him to be, for sure. For sure. Pirates from Resistance is a possibility. Well, still haven't seen Resistance. Still haven't watched it, but I have heard that there are pirates in the show. I'd like to see Hondo and Ezra reunite. Okay, so let's talk about reunions in the Skeleton Crew show. I think this show has the possibility to set up a few different reunions, and that takes us to our second character that I think is going to show up in this show. I actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11-ish characters that I already have pulled up right now that I think will show up in this Skeleton Crew show. 11. Crazy characters, okay? Actually, more than that. I didn't pull up a few of them that I wanted to get to, too. Okay. But that brings me to my next one. Shit, where is he? Oh, there we go. That brings me to my next person, and it will spark yet another reunion in the Star Wars franchise, and that is Captain Rex. Now, Captain Rex, of course, is the clone. When you think of clones, you think Captain Rex #1. Maybe you think of Commander Cody. Maybe you think of Fives. Maybe you think, no, it's Captain Rex, okay? It's Captain Rex. But Captain Rex hasn't been brought into live action yet. That's a lie. He was in Ahsoka in the flashbacks to the Clone Wars, but he hasn't been brought in the Mandoverse. He should technically still be alive. But the reunion, talking about, with Hondo and Ezra, another reunion would be Captain Rex and Ahsoka. Captain Rex and Ahsoka are probably more of a dynamic duo than anybody else in Star Wars, honestly. They're like Han and Chewie, pretty much. And their relationship is one that's kind of gone through the years. We see it in Rebels. We see it in, of course, the Clone Wars. But I want to see it in live action. And seeing Rex in live action would be incredible. And why not do it in Skeleton Crew? Again, you need a pull. You need a pull for this show. And Skeleton Crew would be pretty damn I'm sorry, in Skeleton Crew would be a pretty damn cool spot for Captain Rex to make his first ever live-action appearance. Now, this one is more of a bold take. It's more of a less likely to happen type deal, but Captain Rex has to come into live action at some point. He's still alive at some point. And maybe that some point is Skeleton Crew. Maybe. Just maybe. Okay. So that's sort of my second character there. Captain Rex. It seems a little less likely than Hondo. Hondo seems like a pretty sure thing. Captain Rex, not so much. But tell me in the chat, you think Captain Rex will be in Skeleton Crew? If you're talking about reunions, like Darth Plagueis talked about Zeb Aurelius as well with the very generous super chat. Zeb Aurelius coming into The Mandalorian Season 3. He wasn't in Ahsoka, but you know for a fact at some point Zeb is going to meet back up with Ezra, Hera, and the rest of the Ghost crew. That reunion will happen at some point. And bringing him into live action in The Mandalorian Season 3, knowing that he's not going to be in Ahsoka later on in that year, was genius, because now you have these two parts, often separate spots in the galaxy, that will eventually come together, and it will be this reunion that we know is coming, but it will still be this feel-good moment. Something very similar could be happening here with Hondo and Captain Rex being introduced in Skeleton Crew. Yeah. See, all you guys say no. No, you don't think Captain Rex will. You know what? I'm putting my foot down. I think Captain Rex is going to be more in Skeleton Crew even more now than I ever did before. You know why, chat? Because you say no. I actually think he could be. Make a bet? Okay, I'll bet you. Here's what I'll do, chat. If Captain Rex in live action is not in Skeleton Crew before the last episode, or by the end of the show, I will give away Captain Rex's helmet to any member. So we'll do a Captain Rex spontaneous, doesn't have to be the end of the month, doesn't have to be anywhere. Just if he's not in the finale, we'll do a Captain Rex helmet giveaway. You heard it here first. You heard it here first, chat. He's gonna be in the show. And I'm sticking to it. Yeah. He has a more connection. Of course, he has more of a connection to Ahsoka and Ezra and stuff like that in the Ghost crew, and he could show up in Ahsoka Season 2. But the same way they did with Zeb in The Mandalorian Season 3, they can introduce him in a different show, Skeleton Crew, and then the anticipation of that reunion will be so much more worth it by the time of Ahsoka Season 2. Yeah. All right, let's move to my next character. Now, this one we've talked about before on live stream, but it makes a lot of sense. And that is the Queen of the Pirates, or at least so she's been dubbed, the Queen of the Pirates. Sorry. And that is Maz Kanada. So Maz Kanada, of course, being introduced in the sequel trilogy in The Force Awakens, making an appearance in The Last Jedi and in Rise of Skywalker. She's in all three. Maz Kanada is known as the Queen of the Pirates. But maybe some of you don't know this. She's one of the oldest characters in all of Star Wars. She's 1,000 years old by the time of The Force Awakens. So she's been around for quite some time. There's a bunch of stories that we don't know about Maz, like how did she end up with Luke Skywalker's lightsaber in The Force Awakens? We don't know. There's a lot of mystery around this character of Maz. And that could be explained in Skeleton Crew. Having been dubbed the title of the Queen of the frickin' Pirates in a show that's focused so heavily on the pirates, it seems like a no-brainer to give us more Maz. Especially because it will be a connection to the sequel trilogy, and it will give more to this character that fans seem to like. When you think about the sequel trilogy, it's usually negative stuff. You think about how poorly they treated certain characters. Maz Kanada is sort of a glimmer of light, especially in that Force Awakens movie, in that sequel trilogy, and seeing more of her character, especially because she's so old, because she has Luke Skywalker's Jedi Temple, because he has Luke Skywalker's lightsaber, it would be very, very cool. It would be very, very cool. When 900 years you are, you will not look as good. Yeah, no, I don't think I will. But what do we think, chat? Could Maz be in Skeleton Crew? She's older than Yoda? Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Maz, this is a crazy take, and he's not going to be one of my predictions today, but where there's Maz, you could say there's Han Solo. Because Han Solo and Maz Kanada have this relationship in the past that we don't know anything about. But they do have this relationship because when, instead of going to his former wife, Leia Organa, when Finn and Rey are looking for the Resistance, Han takes them to Maz. So there's some sort of relationship there that could be explored a little bit more on screen, maybe in Skeleton Crew. And yes, she does love Wookiees. That is true. She does love Wookiees, which would be awesome. I mean, seeing her in the show would be great and be a feel-good moment for fans. But if she draws in Chewie and Han, if she draws in Chewie and Han, now you're talking. Now you're talking. Let's not forget, Skeleton Crew we know so little about. But the same thing could be said about a show like The Mandalorian. When The Mandalorian came out in 2019, nobody knew what to expect. And by the end of the first episode, you're introduced to Baby Grogu, formerly known as Baby Yoda. Baby Grogu, who has become a fan-favorite character, made Disney billions upon billions of dollars in merchandising and all that stuff. Look down, he's on your shirt right now. I can almost guarantee it. He's on your shirt. Damn it. But he's made them insane amount of money, and it became a hit show. But we didn't know that was coming. Grogu wasn't in any of the marketing for that show. So the same thing could be happening here with Skeleton Crew. There could be some massive surprises on the way. Some that we might not be able to predict. Maybe a new character like a Grogu, or it could be something big like a Maz Kanada or a Hondo. Well, I just closed down the Hondo tab. Are you kidding me? Hondo Naka or a Captain Rex or a Carson Tava. Now, Carson Tava wouldn't be that crazy. Let's be honest. Let's go back to our trailer here for a second. So in this trailer, we see this one scene. Where is it? There it is. We see this scene right here. Now, those are X-Wings. Those are X-Wings flying down to seemingly come save them or something. I don't know. We don't know what's going on. But they are X-Wings. And where there's X-Wings, that's the New Republic. And where there's the New Republic, you usually find a fan favorite, or recently become fan favorite character, in Carson Tava. Carson Tava is sort of that guy when it comes to pilots of the New Republic. So it would make sense because he's been the through line between The Mandalorian, Ahsoka. Was he in the Book of Boba Fett? Jason, what's up? Was he in the Book of Boba Fett? Somebody help me on the chat. But Carson Tava. Carson Tava is another very likely scenario here. I'm starting off with the likely characters, okay? You got your Maz Kanadas, you got your Hondos, you got your Carson Tavas. These are characters that most likely will appear in the show. Sombra, what's up? So those are your most likely ones to appear. We're going to get crazier and crazier as we go on here, chat, but we're starting off with the easy ones. Now, who do we see Carson Tava with in The Mandalorian Season 3? Zeb Orrelios. So there's another possibility there, but Carson Tava seems like a no-brainer. He's sort of been the through line between all of these different shows, from Ahsoka to Book of Boba Fett to The Mandalorian. Yeah. He wasn't in the Book of Boba Fett? Huh. The more you know. Okay. Going back to an animated character here, and another one I think is very, very likely to appear, and that is Omega. Omega just ended her run on The Bad Batch, as she was introduced in episode 1 of The Bad Batch, but she joins the rebellion at the end of season 3. She joins her good friend Hera Syndulla in the rebellion, I should say. So it seems highly likely where there's the New Republic and there's Carson Tava and there's possibly Hera Syndulla, there could be a pilot by the name of Omega. Now, Omega is an interesting one because if, in fact, she is one of the pilots of these X-Wings, how could she possibly play a role in all of this? Now you got to think about bringing this all together to fight Grand Admiral Thrawn, or to fight the big threat that could be Grand Admiral Thrawn or Abeloth or whomever. But if you bring in Omega, now you have connections to the Bad Batch, connections to Captain Rex again, connections to Hera Syndulla again. It seems like if you're going to bring this character of Omega into live action at any point in the timeline, Skeleton Crew would be the point. Now, again, you don't want to bring in Omega into, like, Book of Boba Fett. Actually, Book of Boba Fett would have made a lot of sense. I take that back. The Mandalorian, let's say. It wouldn't make much sense at all. But Skeleton Crew, because it's about pirates, because it involves the New Republic, and she hopefully is working for the New Republic, we have no idea. But Omega seems like a no-brainer. And, yes, as Officer Murdoch pointed out, she is good with kids as well. That is true. What do we think, chat? Will Omega be in Skeleton Crew? Will Omega be in the Skeleton Crew? Omega would be a great drop in the show. She would. She indeed would, especially if she is in if she is a ranger of the New Republic or a pilot for the New Republic. Carson Tava was in the Book of Boba Fett? I knew it. Yeah. That's true. Could she be the one that gets them home? Maybe. I mean, maybe. Could be. Could be. Why is it doing that? Just do what I want you to do. Ah! Okay. Never mind. I think Omega's another very, very likely one. Okay? Now let's get to more of a... Actually, no. We'll stay on the Omega sort of bandwagon here. And that brings us to our good friend with the rebellion. And that is Hera Syndulla. And, of course, Chopper and Jason Syndulla as well. But Hera Syndulla. Good friends with Omega. Another member of the New Republic. Good friends with Carson Tava. So if you see all these characters, it wouldn't be that big of a surprise. Really at all. Another character who's good with kids. Maybe the kids of the Skeleton Crew meet up with Jason Syndulla. It seems as though all these characters seem to be connected. We talk about Dave Filoni's upcoming Mando movie. You talk about the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Bringing all these characters together. There's a few through lines to all these different shows. Hera Syndulla, Carson Tava, Din Djarin, being friends with all these characters. It'll bring them all together for this Avengers-level event versus Grand Admiral Thrawn. And Hera showing up in Skeleton Crew with Chopper and possibly Jason seems like a no-brainer at this point. Now, it seems as though they won't be introducing all these characters at the same time, but it seems like a no-brainer nonetheless. Hera Syndulla, chat, what do we think? Yes or no? Hera Syndulla. I think because Star Wars Rebels is seen sort of as a kid show, and so will Skeleton Crew, I guess, it seems like a no-brainer to kind of clash the two together. You know? Bring the Rebels crew in with the Skeleton Crew. Bring the crew with the crew, you know? You know? If Jude Law is some kind of fugitive, then it wouldn't surprise me if Mando was sent after him. Well, that could be a big thing. Like, these kids are probably being looked for by their parents. And it seems as though they probably live on some sort of New Republic-controlled planet. So maybe the New Republic is the ones looking for them. Characters like Carson Tava, maybe Omega, maybe Zeb, maybe Hera, looking for these lost kids in the galaxy. And when they come across the kids, if they're especially with Jude Law's character, Jude Law, maybe that's when we realize that Jude's not the character that we want him to be. Maybe he is a bad guy or a fugitive that's being looked for by the New Republic. That'd be pretty interesting. I like that quite a bit. Trevor says Gunji's a no-brainer. Gunji would be pretty cool. I mean, a Wookiee Jedi can never get enough of him. But we know he's at least alive at some point here. He could show up at any point. As far as we're aware, he's alive, I should say. At the end of Bad Batch, he's technically still alive, yeah. But John brings up a good point. If he is a fugitive or whatever, you have Din Djarin and Grogu working with the New Republic in the Outer Rim, which is where this show's going to take place. So that brings us to Din and Grogu. Din and Grogu, who are currently getting their own movie, could possibly make an appearance, probably towards the end of this Skeleton Crew show as well. What do we think, chat? Din and Grogu? Shadowfast, what's up, says, can you please make a what-if video with this idea? What if the Brainworms got Ahsoka instead of Barriss? Well, it wouldn't change much. You know, Barriss lived through that. You know? I think this week's what if is going to be what if Grogu stayed with Luke Skywalker. Yeah. Stayed with Luke and trained in the ways of the Force instead of going back with Din. I've already started writing the script. Looking pretty snazzy. Indeed. But Din and Grogu. Back to Din and Grogu. They're getting their own movie. This Skeleton Crew show is actually the last piece of Star Wars content in this Mandoverse era that will happen before the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. So the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, if you don't know, releases on May 22nd of 2026. About 2.5 years from now. Or sorry, 1.5 years from... Wait, what? Yeah, 1.5 years from now. Yeah. But in between now and then, the only show that takes place in the Mandalorian time period is Skeleton Crew. So Skeleton Crew is going to be the last show that has the possibility to set up this Din and Grogu movie, or Mando and Grogu movie. So it's possible that either there's some sort of setup in Skeleton Crew or Din and Grogu themselves are in this show. Wouldn't be that crazy. Lee, what's up? What is up? Oh, damn, John, I'm writing that one down. What if Maul killed Obi-Wan, not Qui-Gon? That's a great one. That's a good one. Okay. But going back to Din and Grogu, it makes sense that these two characters would either be at least connected to or actually in the show because it's the last show to set up the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Yeah. Yeah. Plus, we haven't seen Din and Grogu in a long time. Since The Mandalorian Season 3, actually, which was over 1.5 years ago? Almost 2 years ago. Yeah. Yeah. Indeed. Okay, now before we get to these two crazy ones, I want to talk about a few others here. Hang on. Okay, so now we're thinking of Now we're thinking of just animated characters that have the possibility of showing up in this in this Skeleton Crew show. And one that was brought up, which is a pretty great one, would be these two characters in particular. The Martinez sisters. Now, these characters were introduced fairly recently into Star Wars in the Clone Wars Season 7, and they were in the Bad Batch? Yeah, they were in the Bad Batch, right? Yeah, Bad Batch. They were in the Bad Batch as well. It seems as though these characters have taken a role or taken their own spot in the Star Wars timeline, and they are sort of a pirate-esque, pirate-adjacent So if they are still alive by the time of this Skeleton Crew show, by the time of the Mandalorian and Grogu, then it would make sense for them to show up in a show that revolves around the pirates. So now you're talking about many, 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 many familiar faces from animation and live action that all revolve around pirates that could show up in this Skeleton Crew show that's supposed to revolve around pirates. From Hondo to Maz to Martinez's sister to everybody. Then you have the New Republic characters, from Carson Tava to Din and Grogu to Harrison Dula and Chopper and Omega. It's getting pretty packed. And we haven't seen a single one of these characters or any evidence to suggest that these characters will be involved in any trailer, because we only have one. So Star Wars, Lucasfilm, if you're watching, and we know that you are, trailer please. Trailer please. Okay, moving on. I have one other crazy one that I know you guys are going to love. Okay. This character could appear for the first time ever in live action in the Skeleton Crew show. And if she does, I'm going to lose my freaking mind. Okay? Any guesses, chat? Any guesses as to who I'm about to pull up, chat? Anybody? Asajj Ventress? No. I would actually be very happy. Actually, Asajj is a great fucking pull there. Asajj Ventress. I like that quite a bit. Let's talk about Asajj before we get to this character, because I don't even want to talk about her. Let's talk about Asajj Ventress, shall we? I like that. Asajj was recently brought back into canon, or brought back to life, I should say, in the Bad Batch Season 3, because she was supposedly dead, or thought to be dead, because of her book, The Dark Disciple. Jeez, brain fart. The Dark Disciple, where she dies to Count Dooku, sacrificing herself to save Quinlan Vos. But she's back in the Bad Batch Season 3, alive and well. Asajj Ventress has a very good connection to Ahsoka Tano, so that would be pretty cool. I'd love to see Asajj Ventress. That would be amazing. And she always does have that sort of connection to the underworld, sort of pirate level type character, you know? I like it. I like Asajj Ventress quite a bit. Mon Mothma. Mon Mothma is a pretty interesting one too, because she just did appear in Ahsoka, but that would... Mon would mean you're probably going to Coruscant, which I don't think we'll be doing in this show. Ahsoka? No, Ahsoka's on Peridia, and she's not coming back anytime soon. Yeah. Any hints? Your hint is, I don't want to see this character at all. And it's a female character. Those are your hints. Mara Jade? Mara Jade would be fantastic. I still think there's room for a Mara Jade in canon in this time period. She can even marry Luke Skywalker, and it wouldn't really change much. It would actually help quite a bit with where Luke Skywalker ends up in the sequel trilogy, especially if Kylo Ren was the killer. But no, it is not Mara Jade. Somebody's on the... Yes, okay. Okay, you got it. It's Sid, okay? Now, this was brought to me, this idea of Sid possibly appearing in this Skeleton Crew show. And I must say, you guys know how much I hate Sid on this channel. You know how much I freaking hate this reptile. But stay calm, Mike. It's shit. Can't even look at her. Can't even look at her. Okay. She's the worst. But she killed Tech. No. Hang on. Where was I? It's a possibility. Okay? If she was to appear in anything, it would be the Skeleton Crew show. As sad as it may seem, this would be the most likely place to see this stupid lizard. Yeah, Sid. Sid could show up in Skeleton Crew. And like Nathan said, if Omega's going to be in Skeleton Crew, then Sid's probably not that far behind either. Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to see her ever again. Me either. But here's the thing. She's still alive. She's still in the same, Yeah. Yeah. Omega? Yeah, Omega. I think Omega will be in the show. Hopefully not Sid, but it was brought to my attention and it made sense. So I had to bring it up. But Sid. Yeah. Okay. Moving on past Sid. Anybody else, chat, before we get to the big ones, the real big crazy ones that could happen but probably won't happen. Any other ones? Oh, CAD Bane. Okay, let's talk about CAD Bane for a second. CAD Bane is my favorite bounty hunter of all time. He was brought into live action in the Book of Boba Fett, served as the main villain of that show along with the Pikes, and he died, or as many fans believe, died to Boba Fett on Tatooine in their sort of showdown at the end of the Book of Boba Fett. Now, you could say the red light was still beeping on his chest. You could say Toto could have just come and Toto! You could have just said, you could say anything. CAD Bane is a pretty savvy guy. He could have survived that. But if he did survive that, when is he going to show up again? When is he going to show up again? The only logical explanation or logical guess to that, or answer to that question, is Skeleton Crew. Again, it's the underworld, it's pirates, it's the Outer Rim, it's bounty hunters. That is where CAD Bane would show up next, if he were to show up. He's not going to show up in Ahsoka Season 2. He's not going to show up in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Skeleton Crew seems to be the only answer to that question. And CAD Bane, if he did live through the events of the Book of Boba Fett, would be perfect. Absolutely perfect for the Skeleton Crew show. Either as a friend or foe to these kids. Most likely a foe, but you never know. CAD Bane has his own intentions. Those kids could be pretty helpful to him at some point or another. But CAD Bane, what do we think, chat? What do we think? And tell me, is CAD Bane your favorite bounty hunter? And if not, who is it? Interesting, John. We'll get to that in a second. Boba Fett, we'll get to that in a second too. CAD Bane. I can't wrap my head around him only appearing in the Book of Boba Fett once and then dying. Now, with this show being in the can for so long, could Carl Weathers' character appear? I don't think so. I mean, he could definitely appear, but I don't think he will. Because that would mean they would go to Navarro, which wouldn't make much sense. His character could be mentioned, Grief Karga that is, because Vane is the one pirate that we do know from The Mandalorian Season 3. So he could mention him, but I don't think we'll go to Navarro. Yeah. Zori Bliss from Rise of Skywalker. Dengar. I don't know how deep into the underworld and bounty hunter specifically the Skeleton Crew show will go, but if it does, I'd love to see characters like Dengar, Bosk, Boba Fett, CAD Bane. It'd be awesome. Would be awesome. All right, let's talk about somebody that John brought up, John Grou. Migs Mayfield. The guy who Bill Burr plays in The Mandalorian Season 1 and 2. Yeah, 1 and 2. We haven't seen Mayfield. Is it Field or Feld? Mayfield since The Mandalorian Season 2, when he was let free by Cara Dune and Din Djarin, and Boba Fett, I guess. But he was let free for helping them out. Not brought back to the New Republic prison, where he's supposed to be. He was let free. It would be a pretty cool thing to see him again. Just to bring Bill Burr back into Star Wars would be awesome. But, again, Skeleton Crew, although we don't know much about the show at all, seems to be the place where all these different characters that we know and love could appear. From characters connected to the New Republic, like Hera, Chopper, Carson Tava, Omega, Din Djarin, Grogu, to pirates like Hondo, Maz Kanada, to the underworld characters like Asajj Ventress, Sid, the Martinez sisters, CAD Bane, Bosk, Dengar. Like, these are the possibilities. These are the crazy cameos that we're talking about today that could appear in Skeleton Crew, and it would make sense. That's the big thing, is it would make sense for all these characters to show up. Now, it's possible that none of these characters show up, but it's also possible that all of them do. Boom. Kira. Let's talk about it. I love it. Okay. Kira. Kira's a very interesting character. Of course, the leader of the Crimson Dawn, trained by Darth Maul. Seeing her back in live action would be incredible. Now, Kira was played by the legendary actress Amandla... Nope, sorry.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Incorrect.
Amelia Clarke, okay? Amelia Clarke, most known for Game of Thrones, but she is Kira in Star Wars. Now, there's a interview recently, as she was in Secret Invasions in Marvel, with Ben Mendelsohn. And Ben Mendelsohn is actually coming back to Star Wars in Andor Season 2 as Orson Krennic. Now, the two of them sort of laughed off the question of coming back to Star Wars. At the time, fans thought that Clarke was lying. Actually, she was the one lying, not Ben Mendelsohn. Come to find out, it was Ben who was lying because he's going to be in Andor Season 2, and we know that for a fact now. But what if they were both lying? And Amelia Clarke is also coming back as Kira in Skeleton Crew. That would be pretty damn cool. I would love to see it. The underworld of Star Wars is so vast and almost unexplored, really. Like, we just got through playing Star Wars Outlaws like a month ago, and obviously she's in that. But I want to see her back in live action. I want to see the training that she got from Darth frickin' Maul in action. So that'd be pretty cool. Imagine Kira, trained by Darth Maul, versus Jod Nawood. That'd be pretty cool. I'd be down for that. I like that one quite a bit. What about the Hutts? Yeah, there's still Hutts out there. Jabba's obviously dead, but there's still other Hutts out there. Yeah. All right, now let's get to the big ones. And I saw somebody mention this earlier in the chat, but let's get to the big ones, shall we? And these are more Jedi characters. And the Jedi characters kind of come in because of Jod. Jod Nawood, who's being played by Jude Law, is going to be a Jedi, or at least a type of Jedi, a new type of Jedi, so to speak. Did he survive Order 66? We don't know. We know he wields the Force, at least, but we don't know where he is, or who he is, honestly. Whether he's a Jedi or a Sith or anywhere in between. But he is a Force user, and where there's one Force user, there's usually another, or at least a connection to another. Now, the biggest character that I've been saying ever since this show was announced at Star Wars Celebration last year, the biggest... I still am holding out hope. It seems less likely and less likely every day that goes by. But the big character that needs to be pulled into live action at some point, and it could be in Skeleton Crew, is Cal Kestis. Now, Cal Kestis, of course, being the main character of Jedi Survivor and Jedi Fallen Order, he has to come into live action at some point. He has to play a role in defeating Grand Admiral Thrawn for a few different reasons. One, his girlfriend Marin is a Night Sister, and Thrawn just showed up to the main galaxy with a bunch of different Night Sisters, okay? Two, he's probably got a connection to Ahsoka. He was a Jedi who survived Order 66 at the Jedi Temple. Ahsoka was also at the Jedi Temple shortly before that. The two probably know each other, or at least know of each other. And it seems, I mean, they cast Cameron Monaghan, who's an incredible actor, and made the character look like him. He's coming to live action at some point, chat. He's coming at some point. But the question is, Is it Skeleton Crew, where Cal Kestis makes his live-action appearance? I don't know. I don't know, chat. You tell me. You tell me, chat. I feel like there's no doubt in my mind that he will eventually be... He'll eventually be coming to live action. That's like a 99.9% certainty. It's more a question of when. You know? And Skeleton Crew seems like the obvious choice. It would be fan-frickin-tastic to see him. But what do we think? What do we think? I think Cal would be more likely to drop in a film, like the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. But don't you think? Maybe. Maybe. My thing is, what connection is Cal gonna have to Din and Grogu? Grogu was at the Jedi Temple at the time too. Maybe he knew him. Maybe he helped him along the way. Grogu leaves the Jedi Temple with Keller and Beck, but there's a whole 25 years in between then and where we see him at the beginning of Mando Season 1. So it is possible that we could see something like that. See Cal Kestis maybe, see Cal Kestis helping out Grogu through the hidden path or something like that. That'd be kind of crazy. That'd be pretty wild. I don't know. I've said it since day one, literally since the show was announced that Cal Kestis will be in the show. And although I have less high hopes now, I think it's possible. Yeah. It's possible. All right, but let's talk about the sort of entree of the meal, I guess. Let's talk about Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker. Of course, you can say Luke, Leia, and Han, but I think all three would be very unlikely. But Luke Skywalker in particular has made his rounds in these Mandoverse shows, being in The Mandalorian Season 2, as he comes in and saves the day, being in the Book of Boba Fett, as he trains Grogu in the ways of the Force. They know how to deepfake him, clearly. I mean, look at that. It's incredible. The deepfake technology just keeps getting better. Would Luke's, and this is a crazy one, I know, chats. Luke is like, why would Luke be in there? But Luke Skywalker, could he be in Skeleton Crew? What do we think? Should we call it the Lukeoverse? I mean, maybe. Maybe. Why not? Okay, well, you could say that. Why not? Well, he's probably doing his Jedi Temple type thing. But here's the thing. At this time in the galaxy, Luke's probably off going to find relics. Sith and Jedi relics. That's what he did after the Battle of Endor and after the Battle of Jakku, was he went in, after the Empire was gone, he went around the galaxy and found Sith and Jedi relics before he even started this Jedi Temple. We saw in the Book of Boba Fett that his temple was being built by those droids, by R2-D2 actually, but he does go around the galaxy looking for artifacts. So that's maybe where these kids come into play and where Skeleton Crew comes into play. Maybe their paths cross because Luke is looking for a Jedi Temple or whatever. Maybe, just maybe, Wim in the trailer when he says, I think it's an old Jedi Temple, maybe he's actually serious. And this is sort of just some trailer magic, like we love to talk about here on the channel. Jesus. All right, let's go back here. Whoops.
We'll set the course of your entire future.
Don't you ever want to do anything exciting? Like what? What if we could go anywhere we want in the whole galaxy? A real adventure. No more pretend. I found something buried in the woods. What do you think it is? I think it's a lost Jedi Temple.
So, I've always said this since this trailer released. it sounds so forced when he says that. It's clearly not the line that he says right there. It seems like they just implanted this line into the trailer for some random reason. What if this is some trailer magic going on here and he's not saying that now? He's just not. It's somewhere else in the show. That would be pretty wild. C. Lee, with an incredible theory here, says, what if one of the kids is force sensitive and Luke comes to look for him? That would be incredible. That would be so cool. What if Wim or Fern or FN or even Neil is a future apprentice or future Padawan of Luke Skywalker? That would be pretty wild. Ian, what's up? JC, how we doing? Is there a new trailer? No, we're watching the old trailer still, but hopefully we're getting a new trailer sometime soon. What if Luke Skywalker is in Skeleton Crew because one of these main kids is force sensitive? That would be pretty wild. And one of these kids could be, and maybe Luke's even with Ben Solo. Now you're talking about seeing not just Luke, but a young Ben Solo too, because Ben Solo is supposed to be Luke's first apprentice. Because Grogu was almost his first apprentice, but he left to go join Din. But what if we get young Luke Skywalker and a young Ben Solo as they're trying to recruit one of these 4 kids to join his Jedi Temple because they're force sensitive? I think Wim would probably be the most likely just based off the trailer, but I see a lot of you guys want Neil to be the that would be nice. Everybody loves Neil, but it seems like Wim would be the more likely scenario there. Yeah, that'd be wild. That would be cool because you get to see Luke and you get to see Ben, and you get more of a connection to the characters that Ben Solo kills. Because even if it is Wim, or it is Fern, or it is the KN, or even Neil, you know for a fact that that character that goes off with Luke Skywalker to join his Jedi Temple is going to die to Kylo Ren in like 10 years. Or whatever it is, 20 years, whatever. That would be pretty wild. That would be pretty wild. JC says, hopes and dreams to see our favorites. I think Skeleton Crew will be its own story, at least for its first season. I agree it'll be its own story, but it almost can't go without showing these characters, or certain characters. Yeah. What if we don't have Luke and we get new characters and new stories? Well, it would still be a new story. Here's the thing. The Mandoverse, I get what you're saying. You're sick and tired of all the old. But this show takes place in the Mandoverse. In the Mandoverse is the time period where Luke, Leia, Han are still supposed to be the main heroes of the galaxy. So not seeing those characters is honestly more weird than seeing them. Especially when Luke's trying to start a Jedi Temple and all that stuff, and Jod Na is a Force user. It would just make sense, you know? I'm 100% down for new stories in Star Wars. I don't think the whole fandom is, but I think a lot of fans are 100% down to branch outside the Skywalker saga, but this show is in the Skywalker saga and right dab in the middle of it. Snoke is Neil.
Incorrect.
We've lost our minds already, chat. There you go. What if the kids never reaches home and the kids end up at Luke's, or what if the kids never reach their home and end up at Luke's Jedi Temple? It would be awesome. I mean, any connection to Luke, sign me up. What if the crew ends up on Peridia? I don't think that's going to happen for a few reasons. They've explained Peridia to be this very, very hard place to get to. You got to get through the Purgle or the Eye of Sion, which is extremely difficult to make. The coordinates. Like it's supposed to be something very, very hard to achieve. So the only way that Ezra was able to do it was because he's the GOAT. The only reason that Ahsoka was able to do it was because she got one final lesson from Anakin frickin' Skywalker in the World Between Worlds. It's supposed to be a hard place to get to. And Balin Skoll even says that if you do it wrong, then you'll end up in the void and in Lost in Space forever. I don't think the Skeleton Crew show is going to take place anywhere close to Peridia or ever venture off to Peridia. Yeah. It would be wise of them to include Luke and other faves, certainly get more of the fandom back in. Yeah, that's sort of the deal too, is you want fans to latch onto this show, latch onto the characters involved in this show. And the best scenario here would be to give them familiar faces to latch onto, or at least bring them in, you know? Or Kira finds the kids and Maul becomes the new kid's Sith Master. Well, Maul's long gone by this point. Yeah. Anklet, what's up? But what if that's why the ship is special? Because it can travel to different galaxies. Because even unknown space is very dangerous. I don't think the ship is going to be that special. It's just the ship that they find that's buried on their planet. Now, maybe the ship is from a very old war or something on their planet. I don't know. But to have a ship that ventures from galaxy to galaxy would be way too overpowered. Well, you could say the Eye of Sion does that, but the Eye of Sion's more a ring that gets them there. It's not the ship itself. Yeah. Yeah. There's 30 years worth of cool Luke stories to tell before the sequel trilogy. Yeah. If you're sick of Luke now, just wait. I'm not sick of Luke at all. I think we need so much of Luke's story filled in between this original trilogy and sequel trilogy. But yeah, there's a lot more story to be told, for sure. For sure. So, Mike, how do you speculate that they will end up in the outer galaxy that quickly? They're not going to be in the other galaxy. I think what's going to happen is their homeworld is going to be a core planet. And the ship they find on their homeworld is going to jet them off into the Outer Rim. The Outer Rim is still in the Star Wars galaxy. It's not in Peridia, you know? They're just going to be blasted off into the wild space, that's what they're calling it, with the pirates. Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys, I really have to pee, and usually I wait till the end of the stream, but we're only an hour in, and I definitely can't hold it. So I'll be right back. I'll be right back, chat. Can you guys handle yourselves? Can you handle yourselves? It's Inklet's dad's birthday. Can we get some happy birthdays to Inklet's dad, please? Okay. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Don't move. We made it. Okay. Where were we? Oh, Luke Skywalker. Yeah, okay. So we're just... All right. So there's obviously a bunch of people that could show up in the skeleton crew. Now, first of all, if you didn't hear a character that you were thinking of, tell me in the chat. If you have a crazy character that you think could show up in Skeleton Crew, tell me in the chat. But of all the characters we talked about, who do you guys think are the most likely to appear in the Skeleton Crew show? Is it Luke? Is it Cal? Is it Hondo? Is it Maz? Is it Captain Rex? Is it Ahsoka? Is it Chopper? Is it Hera? Is it Zeb? Is it Carson Tava? Is it Sid? Is it Omega? Who is it? Who is it? Darth Bane? What? No. Darth Bane's been dead for 1,000 years before the show. Also, while you're at it, chat, can we get some good cops follow orders in the chat, please? Bum, ba. Okay. Explore the Force. What's up? All right. Anklet says he didn't fall in. Yeah, I tried my best. Your dad will get a kick out of that? Well, good. Happy birthday to your dad. Okay. Make sure you wash your hands. My hands are actually still wet from washing them. Gonna wipe them off on my... There we go. Hondo seems like the most likely, obviously. Hondo does seem most likely because of him just being a pirate. And we know he's alive at this time, at least. Yeah. All right, now, screw most likely. Who do you want to see the most? Of all the characters that could show up in Skeleton Crew, who do you want to see the most? Hondo and Maz, nice. Better not be Ahsoka. She's in everything. Yeah, I don't think Ahsoka will be in Skeleton Crew just because she's on Peridia, and she's going to be trapped there for quite some time. And she is in everything, isn't she? I really want Honda, like the car brand. Hondo. Yeah, Hondo seems pretty awesome, but yeah. Older Crosshair, Wrecker, and Hunter. Okay. Bringing the Bad Batch into live action. That'd be pretty cool. Ben Solo. I like that. Ben Solo would be pretty wild. If there's Luke and he's looking for younglings, he'll be with Ben Solo. Yeah. Ben Solo would be cool. Rex, please. I'd be fully down with Rex. If this is where Rex makes his first live action appearance, I'd be down with that. I'd be down with that. Omega would be great. Should be a bit older. Maybe having fought in current fights maybe having fought or currently fighting for the Republic. Yeah, Omega joins the rebellion at the end of the Bad Batch season 3. So it makes sense for her to be involved in the New Republic. And we see X-Wings in the trailer. Omega in live action. Omega in live action hopefully is just going to be Tamara Morrison in a blonde wig, but a man can dream. Greedo, obviously dead. Zori Bliss. I feel like Zori's not around yet, you know? Maybe she is, but I don't know. A little Ben would be like 5 years old. He doesn't go with Luke to train until he's 10. Well, this show will probably take place around, 12 ABY? And he's born when? 5 ABY? Yeah, so he'd only be like 7. Yeah, maybe no young Ben Solo yet. I don't know. Depends on the timeline. Depends on the timeline. A Skywalker looking for younglings? Run. Yeah, I mean, even the younglings that Luke Skywalker finds, even though he's not the one who kills them, eventually do die at his Jedi temple, so they probably should run. Yeah. After Mike goes pee, he drinks another cup of water. Well, guess what? I gotta stay hydrated, you know? Luke and Din and Grogu. That'd be pretty cool. Hondo. Nice. Yeah. Tamara Morrison in a blonde wig. It would be great. It would be great. The survival rate of a Skywalker looking for younglings isn't good. No, it is not. By the way, I'm just catching this poll right now has 90. I'm gonna end it. 93% of you are excited for the Skeleton Crew show. 92. Okay, the math is not mathing, but that's crazy. That's a lot higher than I honestly thought it was gonna be today. But that's great because when we've done this poll in the past, it's been a lot lower than that. I remember when it was 70-30. It slowly creeped its way up, but 93% of you is extraordinarily high. The problem we have is that, of course, us in this community are very eager Star Wars fans and hopeful for the future. Hopeful, eager Star Wars fans. Those are usually the ones that are excited for the new projects. I think if this poll was sort of put out to the rest of the community, the rest of the Star Wars fandom, it would not give similar results. Yeah. Abby, what's up? Been a while. How we doing? But yeah, that's sort of the deal there. All right, let's talk about Star Wars Rebels for a second, shall we? So Star Wars Rebels is celebrating its 10-year anniversary. And for the 10-year anniversary, Star Wars themselves, StarWars.com, released an article that's titled 10 Things You Didn't Know About Star Wars Rebels, behind-the-scenes trivia for the 10-year anniversary of Star Wars Rebels. So let's read this thing, because if you guys don't know, Rebels is my favorite Star Wars show. Period. End of sentence. My favorite single season is Ahsoka, but show total, it's all 4 seasons of Rebels. So let's celebrate Rebels' 10-year anniversary, shall we, with this article. Okay, so the 4 things that it sort of highlights here right away is, of course, the Darth Maul's death, which is just spectacular. Kanan Jarrus drawing down here, Ezra Bridger over there, and Dave frickin' Filoni, the goat that created the damn thing. So, 10 things you didn't know about Star Wars Rebels. This is just a sort of intro type thing, but it does say, for example, you probably know that Zeb Orrelios was based off of early sketches of Chewbacca by Ralph McQuarrie. And if you click on this, I think it'll show you. Oh. That's hilarious. No, this is for the solo movie. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so this was an original design for Chewbacca, and that's obviously Zeb. So it's unused designs for Chewbacca. Okay. You might even know that the brave and beleaguered Imperial Inventory Droid AP5 is named after Lucasfilm Animation's Athena Portillo. I actually didn't know that. There you go. But did you know The World Between Worlds was inspired by C.S. Lewis's Wood Between Worlds from the Chronicle of Narnia, the Magician's Nephew, or the commander Juan Soto's name is an homage after the director Juan Fukuda and composer Masaru Soto, of the 1974 film Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. Dave Filoni has always had a sort of attachment to Godzilla for some reason, but I did not know this about The World Between Worlds either. All right, let's dive into this. Okay, number 1. A website teasing the series hit the internet over a year before Star Wars Rebels debuted. So this was called SceneraflightSystem.com, put out a colorful call for workers to build TIE fighters on the planet Lothal in October of 2013. Damn, that was 11 years ago. 2013 was 11 years ago. Okay. A playful take on the recurring recruiting poster. Oh, this was the poster. That's pretty funny. And it's in the background there too. The Imperial propaganda would later be put on a mural in the premiere episode, Spark the Rebellion. So that's right there, and this was the website itself. Didn't know that. Look at this. This guy's the GOAT right there. He is the GOAT. Okay. Number 2. The production name for the animated series was Wolf. Seen on concept art for the series, the code name was a nod to executive producer Dave Filoni's not-so-secret obsession. He loves wolves. That's why you see wolves. That's why you see Kanan Jarrus turn into a wolf. That's why you see Loth wolves in Rebels. That's why you see Bale and Skull and Shin Hati's names related to wolves as well. Yeah, pretty wild. Kanan Jarrus was inspired by a teen movie. While exploring early designs for the Estwile Jedi. Estwile? Sure. It was sketched based off of 1985's coming-of-age film that solidified his look. A Dave Filoni drawing inspired by The Breakfast Club informed the final design. Yeah, I could see it. Breakfast Club-esque. That's for sure. That's for sure. Ooh, nice. So the Bendu. Nobody mentioned the Bendu ever showing up in live action, but definitely could. Definitely could. He doesn't die in Star Wars Rebels, that's for sure. I'd love to see the Bendu again. But, number 4, the Bendu. An ancient being of with a mysterious connection to the Force has origins dating back to 1973, 4 years before the first original Star Wars movie came out. His name comes from the first Star Wars story treatment written by George Lucas. He called Jedi Knights Jedi Bendu in early brainstorming. Bendu's designs in Star Wars Rebels is a giant horned creature that was based off of a fantasy story written by Filoni featuring a wise old moose. That's pretty crazy. I did not know that, actually. The original Jedi Knights were called Jedi Bendu. I believe Bendu has a different meaning to it entirely as a word, right? Chat. Somebody help me on the chat. Bendu is like, it translates to something, right? Right, chat? I don't know. Somebody help me out. Okay, moving on. Princess Leia. Princess Leia's voice might sound familiar to Disney Park fans. When the young rebel was set to make an appearance in A Princess on Lothal, the team turned to someone who had already been familiar with her regal voice. Leia in Star Tours is just amazing. Wow. So the voice who does Leia in the Star Tours is the voice of Leia in Rebels. The more you know. In bonus fact, Leia's outfit in the episode is inspired by an early Ralph McQuarrie concept art for the princess. There you go. There's the concept art right there. Ooh, Grand Inquisitor lightsaber. I like this. Number 6, the Grand Inquisitor and Galen Merrick, Starkiller, shared a unlikely link. The ringed hilt wielded by the Grand Inquisitor, deemed a cheat mode lightsaber by Dave Filoni, felt very familiar to concept art Amy Beth Christensen created. I was assigned a lightsaber for the Grand Inquisitor, she said. And then I pulled out concepts that were never used before. I looked, and it was actually a lightsaber that we had designed for The Force Unleashed. Huh. So this was almost the lightsaber of Starkiller in The Force Unleashed, or at least a lightsaber in that game, which is pretty cool. I mean, talk about a great design. The Grand Inquisitor is so cool. Kenobi is not that bad, okay? I'm quite the fan of the Kenobi show, especially the last 2 episodes. But one of the biggest mistakes ever is what they did to the Grand Inquisitor in Kenobi, okay? His head looks stupid. Absolutely stupid. And it butchered this incredible design of a character. Okay, moving on. That is spooky. Okay. 7. And the 5th brother has his own behind-the-scenes connection to Kylo Ren. The distinctive looking Inquisitor, who would later appear in live action in the Kenobi series, owes a little bit of his appearance to the future Knight of Ren. Is this what Kylo Ren was supposed to look like? That's creepy. The 5th brother's helmet was a concept created for Kylo Ren in The Force Awakens that didn't make it into the film. Huh. I'm very glad Kylo Ren ended up the way that he did. This is not the look for Kylo, if we're being honest. Yeah. Okay. Now, the Darksaber. Number 8, Jon Favreau's tweet about the Darksaber in Star Wars Rebels in 2017, years before it would appear in his own series, The Mandalorian. Favreau, who voiced the Darksaber wielder, Mandalorian pre-Vizsla in the Clone Wars, was obviously watching the weapon with great interest. Nearly a year before his involvement in Star Wars in live action, he tweeted out, "Glad the Darksaber ended up in good hands," with Sabine Wren having the Darksaber. So this was over a year before he even joined Star Wars to come on board with The Mandalorian, where, of course, the Darksaber makes an appearance in live action. Now we're talking. Number 9, Maul's final swing of the lightsaber is the same move that finished Qui-Gon Jinn. The duel between Darth Maul and Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars The Phantom Menace came full circle in Season 3's stunning Twin Suns, which might be one of the greatest episodes of Star Wars, period. The move that Maul tries after the initial exchange, he actually attempted the move that killed Qui-Gon Jinn. He tries to bash Obi-Wan with the hilt, revealed producer Henry Gilroy? I wonder if he's related to Tony Gilroy. But Kenobi had learned a lot since that fateful day, and it became the last move Maul would ever make. So he tried to get his master back. And actually, there's a little bit more to this, because Obi-Wan takes the stance of his master. So Maul, being Maul, thinks he has the upper hand and tries to do the same move, but his arrogance kind of gets the better of him, you know? You know? Kit Fisto, what's up? Okay. And last but certainly not least, number 10. Several iconic Star Wars people, places, and things made their on-screen debut in Star Wars Rebels, including Grand Admiral Thrawn, of course, who's now the Big Blue Meanie, who's going to be the main villain of this Mandoverse time period. The Imperial Troop Transport. What? Oh, this thing. This made its debut in Rebels? Actually, yeah, that makes sense because it's in The Mandalorian too, but the more you know. Okay. Sabak? Sabak wasn't already in Star Wars before Rebels? Hang on, this is blowing my mind. Sabak wasn't already in Star Wars? I don't believe it. Hang on. Perhaps the galaxy's oldest and most popular card game, Sabak is played in a bewildering number of variations. Blah, 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 blah. Really? Its only 2 appearances are in Solo: A Star Wars Story and Star Wars Rebels. What? That's crazy. Why do I think Sabak has just been around for forever? It's pretty much a brand new thing. That's crazy. Okay, moving on. The Purgle, of course, the space whales. The planet Kessel. So the Kessel Run, but it was the planet Kessel was introduced in Rebels. And the Inquisitorius. Rebels also marked the first time we had heard the word Beskar. What? How is this possible, chat? How is this possible? We went through 7 seasons of the Clone Wars on Mandalore with the Mandalorian War going on, and we never heard the word Beskar? What's going on here, chat? Is this some sort of like Mandela effect type thing? Like, what? 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 How is that possible? How do we go through all seasons of the Clone Wars and never hear the word Beskar before? What do they describe the Mandalorian's armor as? Huh, my whole life was just turned upside down right there, chat. Rewatch Rebels for your favorite episodes. Find out what happens next to Ezra Bridger, Sabine Wren, blah, 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 blah. Okay. There you go. 10-year anniversary for Star Wars Rebels, and that article just blew my freaking mind. With Sabak and Beskar being first introduced in Rebels, that means Beskar. Everybody knows what the frick Beskar is now, from Boba Fett's armor to Din Djarin's armor. Mandalorian metal. Beskar. Wasn't introduced into Star Wars. Well, it was introduced, but it's the word itself wasn't introduced until Rebels. Within the last 10 years. That blew my mind. That blew my mind. Okay. And I might have to go rewatch some Rebels tonight then. To celebrate 10-year anniversary. To celebrate. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, let's go back to... Hang on. There's something else. Oh, yeah, there's a new book out called The Glass Abyss, which is about Mace Windu before... following the events of The Phantom Menace. Okay, let's read this real quick. So this is a new book coming out about Mace Windu. So for those people who think Mace Windu's still alive, he's not, but there's some hope for you yet. We're going to get more story for Mace Windu in this story right here. So this is going to be coming out in... When does this come out? Let's see. Oh, it's already out. It is already out. So if you want to go listen to this book on Audible or wherever you listen to your books, go check it out. But this is what it's about. So a novel, never mind, available October 15th. Oh, that's today. Okay, so it's available today. Follows Jedi Master Mace Windu immediately following the events of The Phantom Menace. So right after Qui-Gon dies. The main story kickstarts when Windu receives a recording from his late friend Qui-Gon Jinn. The recording is sort of a call to arms for Windu to travel to the planet of Mitagos, and intervene on behalf of the peaceful clan of peoples that reside there amidst growing violence and controlling crime factions. Along the way, Mace Windu is forced to grapple with the death of his friend and peer and reflect on his own life and decisions, reconciling his thoughts and feelings regarding even his entry into the Jedi Order. Huh. That's pretty cool. So it's just a mission for Mace Windu right after his friend and peer, Qui-Gon Jinn, dies, as he left him a recording to go help these people on the planet of Metagos? Sure. So, if you want to go listen to that or check that out, get some more Mace Windu in your bloodstream, go check that out. Oh, well, thanks a lot, chat. How am I supposed to know that you guys can't see that? Boom. There you go. Comes out today, October 15th. So go check that out if you want to get some more Mace Windu in your life. Yeah. I was really thinking that they were going to drop a Skeleton Crew trailer today. I don't know why. I just had such I had a feeling. I sensed it in the Force and it didn't happen, chat. It didn't happen. Bummer. Watch it drop like the second I end the stream. That would suck. Oh. For you Acolyte fiends out there, here's some news. Hasbro has just put back up the Stranger's helmet for pre-order and the Black Series action figures for Osha and May and other characters in the show. Jekki, Sol, Yord, Indara. The more you know. The more you know. Cool. Okay. Season 2, here we come. I don't know about that, but it is a step in the right direction, I guess. There's a Battlefront mod for Empire at War that I love, but it keeps crashing. Oh, that sucks. Battlefront, I wish, just kept getting updates, or at least they made a third one. Like, come on. There's millions upon millions of Star Wars fans that want to keep playing Battlefront, but you stopped updating it, you know? Still not over Jekki getting pin cushioned? Yeah. When you hitting 95K, Mike, congrats, by the way. Thank you. First of all, we have not hit it yet. I guess we hit it probably by the end of this week. Hopefully. We're getting close, chat. We're getting close. This full cup of water will be dumped on my head someday soon. Someday soon. Your pal Joe, what is up? Says, glad to hear that. I don't want them taking down any Star Wars merch like that. I know, same. Trying to recoup some of the production money. Oh, yeah. And merchandising is the best way to do that. I feel like, especially with the Acolyte, they had so many things that they could sell merchandise for, especially with Chimere. Grandmaster, what's up? Says, Jude Law said this. There are one or two more times every day where I walk on set and it hits me like a child. I get awestruck by certain characters that are around me that I can't say. I like the sound of that. I definitely like the sound of that. There's no doubt in my mind that we're going to be seeing some pretty big names when it comes to Skeleton Crew. I just don't know, obviously, who specifically. We can speculate all the doodah day, which we did today. Probably speculated 20, 30 some odd characters that could be in this show, all kind of having a reason to be there, from Hondo to even Luke Skywalker and everybody in between. But that is interesting, because if Jude Law is excited about these characters that he's around, that he can't talk about, then it must be somebody It must be somebody of importance. That would be wild. That would be wild. Your pal Joe says, we need the blue milk bucket dump for 100K. Well, we talked about it. If you guys give me $100 in super chats, which is quite a bit, $100 in super chats during that 100K live stream, then I will be dumping blue milk instead of water on my head. And I've already gotten DMs or messages saying that you guys will get me there, which I'm very thankful for, but I'll have it ready. I'll have the blue milk ready. Yeah. I'll have it ready, okay? God. Of course, we are halfway through this month, and every month, at the end of each month, we do a giveaway. So if you are not yet a member, become a member. It's only 99 cents, the lowest tier. And Super Chats, of course, very, very generous. Huge shout out to Darth Plagueis for the very generous $5 holla earlier on in the stream. I appreciate it. I appreciate that, Joe. I appreciate it. If we all chip in, can we get a gallon of blue milk? 1,000. 1,000 and I'll dump a gallon of blue milk on my head. You guys are crazy. Okay. Yeah, you guys are crazy. The Smilo Ren I have pre-ordered. Nice. Nice. Okay, let's do this, shall we? All right. So we talked about all these characters. I'm going to exit those up. Boom, 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 boom. Freaking Sid. Can't believe we talked about Sid today. I'm so mad. All right. Crazy. All right. I think. Yeah. How much for a bath of blue milk? 10 grand. 10 grand. Yeah. Yeah. Cleaning blue milk off the car. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put like one of those kid pools below my chair. I'm going to be sitting in a different chair. I'm not getting this chair destroyed. But yeah. Okay. I am. Well, I made it an absurd number because I know I'm not going to get there. There you go. There you go. I've been saving my money for these bets, Mike. Careful what you wish for. Oh my God, you guys are crazy. All right. I'm going to get on out of here, you guys. The absolute best. I appreciate every last one of you so much more than you will ever know. Watch out for a cover my electronics too. Yeah, I will. So much more than you will ever know. $1 per subscriber. You can retire, LOL. Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice? No. Yeah. I appreciate you guys so much more than you'll ever know. Watch out for a short later on today. Hopefully a video tomorrow. I'm waiting for this freaking Skeleton Crew trailer. Star Wars, Lucasfilm, if you're watching, and we know that you are, please. Okay. Release that trailer. Okay? Okay. Huge shout out to Darth Plagueis for the very generous super chat, and I appreciate every last one of you for being here and supporting the channel. And we are very, very close to 95,000 subscribers, which is absolutely insane. The countdown just keeps on going. It just keeps on going, and I appreciate it. I really, really do. So until next time, we talked about that. Okay, I didn't want to miss anything. I didn't want to miss it. Hondo Naka. Maz Kanada, Luke, Carson Tava, Omega, Harrison Dula, all these characters, even crazier ones like Cal Kestis, could show up in Skeleton Crew, might show up in Skeleton Crew. 49 days until that show releases, and I can't wait. I can't wait to get back to... Oh, links don't come through. Grandmaster, send it to the Discord. Wait. Nobody leave yet. Grandmaster, send it to me on the Discord. If you guys are not yet in the Discord, go join that Discord. There's a link in the description below. New footage? Hang on. Yeah, no. Links don't send in the chat. Okay? So I'm going to need you to send that to me on Discord. Okay? Okay. I definitely think so, John, because they want hype to build for this show. So it would make sense that they would show us at least one of these characters, if they are going to be in the show, in the trailer. Yeah. Absolutely. Yes. Indeed. Grandmaster, I'm still waiting for this link. I'm not leaving till I get it. I don't care if it's fake or not. I'm ready. I'm ready. I don't want to see those sisters from Rebels. I'm running away now. The sisters from Rebels? Oh, the Martinez sisters you're talking about? Were they in Rebels? Pretty sure it was only Bad Batch. Yeah. Yeah. I think the best thing that they can do for Skeleton Crew to get people excited is to show somebody like Hondo Naka in the trailer. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Mike, if this is true and it's a real link, then you got your new footage, and the force is strong with you. Yes, that'd be nice. Wouldn't it be? If I can get this link, though. Where this link at, though? I feel like Grandmaster's just bamboozling us right now, though. Let me go check Twitter. Let me go check the X, formerly known as Twitter. Oh, well, we didn't watch this, but this was just a short little thing that they released yesterday.
Oh my god! 50 days until Skeleton Crew so here's ice cream meals to celebrate. Wow! Yes.
I need that in my room.
Oh my gosh! Cat, I love you.
So this is the cast of Skeleton Crew.
Oh my!
This is your boy Wim up here. This is Fern, I think. That's KN. And this is Neil, the kid under the suit. But they're just celebrating 50 days countdown. But what's really cool is that they were definitely filming stuff here. Because this was from yesterday. That means they're filming something that will be released at some point soon. Yesterday. They filmed this yesterday because it's 50-day countdown. So whatever they filmed here for some sort of trailer or whatever will be released at some point. Damn it, Grandmaster. You got my hopes so high. Okay. But with that, 49 days and counting. The countdown continues not only for Skeleton Crew, but for 100K as well. I appreciate every last one of you so much more than you will ever know. And may the force be with you. Always. Oh, yeah. What a great stream. What a great show. You guys are the absolute best. I appreciate you guys so much more than you'll ever know. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. I really hope we get a trailer that will just like blow our minds when it comes to this show, but a man can dream. A man can dream. Okay. Until then, I hope you have a great rest of your evening, great rest of your lives. And good night, everybody.